Lord Gonsalvez strode into town, his cloak billowing behind him. His presence was magnetic, drawing attention from everyone, women especially. His dark, piercing eyes could hypnotize any audience, and his tongue wove words that would make even the most skeptical hearts race. One evening, Lord Gonsalvez's performance hall, the Grand Perplexum Theater, was filled with an eager crowd. Among them was Eliza, a beautiful and sharp-witted young woman, skeptical of the magician's charm. Her friends laughed at her unease, convinced she was merely pretending to resist him. His show began with mesmerizing illusions, doves transforming into silk scarves, a mirror that reflected not the viewer but their deepest desires. The audience was spellbound. Toward the night's end, Gonsalvez requested a volunteer, and as if under a spell, Eliza found herself stepping forward. Backstage, the air was thick with incense and the whisper of chants long forgotten by time. Gonsalvez didn't need to speak to enchant Eliza. His presence alone was intoxicating. He took her hand and led her to a secluded room bedecked in luxurious velvet drapes and faint golden candlelight. "Gifts to those who believe," he murmured, his words soft as silk. He revealed a small, intricate box and with careful precision extracted a beautiful blood-red ruby pendant, placing it around Eliza's neck. She felt a pulse of warmth emanate from the stone, her senses swirling with emotions she couldn't understand. Eliza returned to her seat, her heart pounding and her mind clouded. As the days passed, she became entranced, visiting Gonsalvez night after night. Each time their encounters grew more passionate, yet with an undercurrent of deepening dread. An air of intoxicating danger surrounded him, each touch and whisper leaving an indelible mark on her soul. The disappearances in town grew more frequent, and whispers about Gonsalvez transformed into fearful mutterings. Eliza began noticing unsettling changes in him, a predatory gleam in his eyes, the way he would sometimes scarcely eat in public, and yet his room reeked of iron and decay. Determined to uncover the truth, Eliza spied on Gonsalvez. She discovered a hidden door in his room leading to a dimly lit dungeon beneath the Grand Perplexum. There, to her horror, she found evidence of his gruesome secret, tattered remnants of clothing, stained with blood, and personal items from the vanished townsfolk. Her spine turned to ice when she saw a diary filled with names and dates, detailed plans of each seduction and subsequent disappearance. At the end of the list was her own name, followed by the chilling note, "Final Performance." The night of the final performance arrived. Gonsalvez's allure was more potent than ever, yet Eliza steeled herself with the knowledge of his true nature. As he called her to the stage, she played the part of the enchanted volunteer, biding her time. At the climax of the performance, Gonsalvez attempted his final trick, a transformation ceremony with Eliza at its center. As he began his chants, the air thick with malevolent energies, Eliza revealed the ruby pendant hidden in her dress. With a decisive grip, she crushed it in her hand, releasing a burst of light and an acrid smoke that overwhelmed Gonsalvez. Wave after wave of shrieks echoed through the theater as Gonsalvez's charm wavered. His true form, ghastly and monstrous with features elongated and skin stretched tight, was exposed. The audience, horrified by what they saw, began to flee, but Eliza stood her ground. Using her own quick wits and the knowledge she had gathered, she confronted the demon within Gonsalvez, reciting the incantations she'd discovered in the dungeon. The monstrous form of Gonsalvez roared, lashing out at her with supernatural forces. Pain and fury danced in his eyes as he tried to extinguish her life force. With the final words of the incantation, Eliza banished the demon, and Gonsalvez's body crumbled to dust before her eyes. The room fell silent. The air cleared from the thick darkness that had filled it. Relief washed over Eliza, but it was short-lived. As she turned to leave, quivering in exhaustion, she felt a slight burn around her neck where the ruby pendant had once laid. A chilling realization hit her. Gonsalvez had marked her soul. Her reflection in a nearby broken mirror revealed dark, swirling tattoos forming on her skin, intricate patterns etched by the demon's essence. Though she had ended Gonsalvez's wicked reign, his dark legacy had begun to live within her, tying her fate to the same sinister mystery that had seduced her to the abyss. As she walked into the night, disappearing into the shadows, a fear gnawed at her. Would she next become the enchantress wandering from town to town, her own hunger growing more insatiable with each passing day? The tale of Lord Gonsalvez serves as a haunting reminder that some attractions hold dangers that can transform, entrap, and eternally bind.